nervous system, go wait at Black Crow before service and see how long they take to make your coffee with milk. Hi, how are we doing? We doing well? You all look bright and sunshiny. Over here we've got Mikey D on the lyrics, so give it up for him. He doesn't like attention, sorry. So on drums we have Sean, give it up for Sean. Yes, on bass we have Noel. Give it up for Noel. On electric guitar we have Peter. Give it up for Peter. And some people call me Gianna. Everyone calls me Gianna. And I sing and play guitar. So all the songs are familiar. You can stand and sing with us. The first song is called Faith. I've been working on the ways that I lose my head some days. I just can't keep it together. I keep trying to soldier on. this next one is because my husband likes to challenge me. Yeah. So just keep that in mind first before you make a judgment. Inspiring the east where your heart is at peace when you enter. And that's just a reminder to hold on, because change is coming. It wouldn't be me if I didn't try to cheesily string the song titles together. So that's the name of the next song. Song without giving y'all a little singing part. So just follow Noel and Sean. They are the part that you are singing. They're your guiding lights. So just a little call and response, nothing crazy. We're gonna do some laws. Here we go like this. Sing la 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 la. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going today? Woo! Good morning, Owen. It's pretty cool. My son's over here dancing now. Oh, okay. I'm glad you guys are all sitting down. Raise your hand if you were here last week. Oh, you don't have to. I don't want to make you do it every week.
I will.
Okay, hey, Hannah, unmute Guyana.
Oh, that, I see.
So if you weren't here last week, you don't know what I'm about to say, and I'm sorry. I have bad news. Unfortunately, we have about a month left with Peter and Guyana. And if you're new, this is Guyana. Peter's back there. They're fired. Because, as you just heard, they're terrible musicians. And they were late to the stage today, so they're also bad people. We are so happy for them because they are moving away to another place where it's colder. Denmark, that's right, buddy. So if you're someone who attends regularly the next 4 weeks, including today, be here because it's going to be your last chance to hang out with these two until we pay them tons of money to come back and visit. Next year, January. Just kidding. Regular band schedule kind of for the next 2 weeks. The last Sunday of this month is going to be like chill acoustic vibes. And then the Sunday after that will be their last Sunday. It's the first Sunday in November. Big band vibes. So we're going to try and mix it up a little bit and do all sorts of fun things. And we're so happy for you. I'm going to not tell you what I think about you until the last one so I don't have to cry every week. But Guyana just real quickly mentioned she also has a show. They have a show that we would love to kind of help them pack out. And if you want to hit the details, I'll fill in after you.
Yes. Okay. So it's on October 27th. It's a Monday. Doors open at 7. The show is at 8. It's $15 before then, and it's $20 the day of. You can send that price to my Venmo. It goes to the musicians. Peter and I are not taking anything. We just want to pay our dope musician friends for donating their time. And yeah, we're going to have donuts. And the album EP is about just celebrating being married finally. And
what's it called?
Baked Alaska. I used a dessert as a metaphor. If you've never had Baked Alaska, it's basically ice cream cake with meringue. And it's fun. It's going to be great. And sonically and actually, because of the donuts, delicious. So you should come.
Are you trying to say marriage is sweet?
It can be. There's a line in one of the songs, because one of the songs is called Cake, because there's actual cake in Baked Alaska. Oh my God. And our love for each other will stay the same, even when every day ain't sweet as cake, because some days are sweet as cake, and some days aren't. But the love is there. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Clap it up for them as they leave the stage. Forever. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to try and make it easy on you to come to the show. If you go to diff.church, which looks like that. And again, you don't have to do .com or anything, just diff.church. Click the events button, and it is listed there in the events. It'll take you to where you can buy your ticket, and awesome. While you're there, you can also volunteer for Halloween on Central, the last Sunday of this month. We're doing a whole thing. We're not doing it. St. Pete is doing a whole thing on Central. We have a booth. We're going to give out candy. If you want to bring candy, you can put it right here, just to the altar of the candy gods. We need tons of it, so bring it for the next few weeks. And then we would love for you to hang out, chill in the booth, pass out some cards, say hi to people, be a not weird church person. Do you think you can do that? I can't. Okay, I'm sorry this part's taking so long, but there's a lot to go through. Parking, if you're unaware, parking is getting crazy here. So we are allowed to park at Three Daughters now, which is over that way, until noon. So if you come on a Sunday, park over there, you're golden. Even that week, even the Halloween on Central week, you just have to leave before noon or else you get towed. Did I cover everything? Groups. You can sign up for groups at diff.church if you want to be in a small group. 2 in St. Pete, 1 virtual. So if you're not in St. Pete, you can still be in a group. Okay. I know I talked a lot, but I'm going to tell one story before I get off stage, so thank you for indulging me. Raise your hand if you've ever listened to our podcast. Yeah, that makes me feel good. Okay. Like a month and a half ago-ish, I got behind 2 weeks because I was traveling a bunch and I was just like, bleh. And so I said on one of the podcasts, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to catch up. I don't know. Posted it. Well, like literally the next day, we get an email to our Diff Church account from somebody who lives in Wisconsin, Steven. And Steven's like, please, I depend on these podcasts. And I was like, oh, man. Okay, I guess I actually have to do my job and like post these podcasts. So I did. They're live now. But I was just curious. I was like, Wisconsin, how did you find us? And he's like, oh, cool story. So I was at this music festival called Furnace Fest like a year ago, I think. And someone from here also goes to Furnace Fest. He's sitting way in the back. Everybody look back there and make Rich feel weird. So apparently Rich was wearing one of our open and loving and inclusive and Christian and different shirts, which are very cool. And there's some over there. Like, take one if you want one. And Steven saw it and he was like, wait, what is this? And they like exchanged phone numbers. And Rich was like a totally good person to this guy, Steven, which if you know Rich, like he's usually not a good person. I do not recommend following him on social media. But at Furnace Fest, apparently he made quite the impression. And because of that, we have like a loyal listener in Wisconsin. So Rich, you rock, bro. And I just wanted to share that. I thought you guys might appreciate that because my heart was warmed and I will keep making the podcasts. Okay, thank you for indulging me. I've been up here forever. Please clap loud for Hannah.
Good morning. I mean, that was weak. I'm not going to make you say it again, but like, do better. Okay, this morning we are continuing our series on the scariest thing we could possibly talk about in October, which is megachurches. Just kidding, but seriously. We are doing this through examining the story of Mars Hill Church, which is a church that was founded, what is that? In Seattle in the 90s. At its peak, it had like 15,000 people attending 15 different locations, and then it collapsed in 2014 amid lots of allegations of abuse and persistent sinful behavior on the part of the pastor, Mark Driscoll. So last week we discussed whether megachurches should actually exist and what actually is the purpose of church. And the small group discussion we had this week, at least in my small group, was so good, so good. Today's message is titled, If You're Not For Us, You're Against Us. Now, Christianity Today put out an excellent podcast titled The Rise and Fall of Mars Hill. Some of what I'm going to share with you is direct quotes from their work. I highly recommend you can listen to it if you want to, but only if you want to be mad. Protect yourself, okay? Okay, Mark Driscoll was known for saying things like, if you're not with us, you're against us. He did not mince words. He did not abide any threats to his authority. He was quite often just like a bully who like belittled and attacked people if they disagreed with him. And he would tell this story about the last night before they were going to meet for the first time as a brand new church plant. That night he has a dream. And in this dream, he's standing in the building where they're going to have church, and one of the people in his core church planting team, who he loves and trusts, comes up to him and says, I'm going to take over Mars Hill. You're done here. This is my church now. And according to Mark, this exact scenario then happens the next day. And so he kicks that person out of Mars Hill forever. What a story to start a church with. Like, I feel like he always had this underlying assumption that people were out to get him, trying to take his power, take his church, and he fought constantly to protect his position, make sure that he maintained control, and he was like aggressive and rude, and he said all manner of horrible and offensive things. But, as we talked about last week, the hostility and aggression was not a flaw, it was a feature. People liked it, okay? It felt like he was just being really passionate. And when the narrative is preached over and over again that people are trying to take down the church and that people have it out for him, it's wildly easy to believe that and side with Mark, especially because so many people who attended had experienced the good side as well. Their lives had been changed. So it was hard to believe that what they just saw as like abrasive but effective was actually spiritual abuse. Another layer to this is that to question his ideas or his methods was basically tantamount to questioning God. It was seen as an attempt to derail God's mission of saving souls in Seattle. And anyone with eyeballs could look around and be like, clearly people are being saved at Mars Hill. Like thousands and thousands of people. People are getting their lives together. Men were accepting responsibility for themselves and their families, which in turn made life better for women and children. I should say some women and children, but we'll talk about that next week. Like people were overcoming things like addiction and apathy and despair, and people were coming in family groups like children, parents, grandparents, people who swore that they would never set foot in a church again. Were like, I might try this like punk rock version of faith with like great music and charismatic speaking, and they found themselves captivated because he was so convincing. He was so engaging. He spoke with authority and knowledge and conviction about what faith looked like and how it was to be lived and what people should believe about God and how those beliefs needed to translate into your real life. All of that translated into a church culture where any disagreement with the pastor became a disagreement with God. And it was not tolerated. In the podcast, there's a story about this woman named Karen who started going because her adult kids were going. And she was like, wow, I didn't think they were ever going to go to church. This is great. So she went. She was like, oh, I'm impressed. Then she was inspired. Then she started working there. That was the mistake. Then she started working there, and she was Mark's assistant for years, okay? At some point, his behavior had gotten so ridiculous that she had remarked to the wife of another pastor on staff that she wished there were some older, wiser men around that would be able to go toe-to-toe with him and not just say yes to everything. The next morning, Karen was called into a meeting with Mark, and she was told this: you are being accused of heresy because you said you don't trust the leadership of this church. And then after an intense dressing down, she was fired. And then the next day, Mark calls her over to his house and rants at length about how he was the victim in the situation and that he couldn't believe that she would do something like this to him. He was known for saying, trust is hard to earn and easy to lose. I find that fascinating. Like, when you start from a place of distrust, can you possibly have an environment where people can actually grow? He was always looking for evidence that people didn't deserve what little trust they had. He demanded unconditional loyalty from everyone. If you're not with us, you're against us. Of course, he was the only one who got to decide who was with and who was against. And, fear works. If you want to get people behind you unquestioningly, you just make them afraid. I think we can see this playing out in the political realm every single day. Currently, if they can make people well and truly terrified of whatever boogeyman the powers that be say is the real threat, then people willingly give up their agency for other things. And his message was that the world is dangerous. The world wants to rob you of meaning and relationships and legacy. And he used war metaphors and leaned really hard on that us versus them mentality. And I don't disagree with all of it. I think in our Western culture, we can very easily be robbed of meaning and relationships and legacy. Is that worse than giving up our agency and bending the knee to the whims of a power-hungry tyrant who's baptizing his methods in the name of God? I don't think so. But lest you think I'm some kind of unicorn person who would never be in a situation like that. It took me till I was, 29-ish to work up the courage to resist the church establishment and be affirming. I didn't have any abrasive Mark Driscolls in my life demanding absolute loyalty, but I did have the knowledge that if I said anything that was over the line, it would have serious consequences for my life and my family and my future in the church. I think a lot of us come from a place where even just questioning methods and theology is equivalent to starting down the slippery slope to the bad place. Questions, let alone doubts, okay? This is seen as a clear sign of a lack of faith. Push a little, you get reprimanded. You push a lot, you get kicked out. Mark said this in a sermon shortly after he fired two of the church elders who had raised concerns. He said this, the audio is online. You can find it. I am not making this up. There is a pile of dead bodies behind the Mars Hill bus. And by God's grace, it'll be a mountain by the time we're done. You either get on the bus or you get run over by the bus. Those are the options. But the bus ain't gonna stop. Jesus is proud, I think. We become what we tolerate. And nowhere is this more true than in our churches. Because the us versus them mindset had been tolerated for so long, because the harsh and the attacking language had been tolerated for so long, because the pastor who ruled with an iron fist had been tolerated and celebrated for so long, like the church became a place that spiritually and emotionally ran over people, like a lot of people. When you have a mindset that says, by God's grace, there'll be a mountain of dead bodies when we're done, how can the church possibly be a place of healing or hope or restoration? When you start from a place of distrust and suspicion, how can the church possibly teach people to trust God and love each other? Now, let's talk about that phrase. If you're not with us, you're against us. It comes from the Bible. It's quoted frequently. I should say it's misquoted frequently. It is actually a blend of two separate verses, one from Matthew, one from Mark. So Mark 12:30 says this is Jesus talking. Anyone who isn't with me opposes me, and anyone who isn't working with me is actually working against me. That's pretty similar, but it's Jesus talking, not about a collective. The context of this verse is that Jesus had healed a demon-possessed man who was blind and mute, and the religious leaders were butthurt about it. Because all the crowds who had witnessed this miracle were wondering if Jesus was the Messiah that they had waited for and prayed for. And the Pharisees, the religious leaders, were trying to discredit Jesus. They said he could only cast out this demon because he was getting power from Satan. And Jesus is understandably annoyed. And he says that phrase. And then he goes into a discussion of good versus bad fruit, meaning you can clearly see who has true faith by how they act, their fruit. And the Pharisees are putting out bad fruit. And then Jesus calls them a brood of snakes, evil men who can't possibly speak anything that is good and right. The other passage, which is found in Mark 9:40, is again Jesus speaking. And he says, anyone who is not against us is for us. Again, very close. And here Jesus is talking to the disciples because they saw someone using Jesus' name to cast out demons, and this person was apparently successful. And the disciples got butthurt about it because this person was not in their group. And Jesus is immediately like, don't stop him. Anyone who's not against us is for us. Essentially, people who are doing good in my name, even if they're not part of your inner circle, are not a problem. Stop creating division. And then he tells the disciples, if any of you cause these little ones who trust in me to fall into sin, it would be better for you to be thrown into the sea with a millstone on your neck. Harsh. Now, on the surface, these verses seem opposed. Okay, so Jesus says in Matthew, anyone who isn't with me opposes me. And in Mark, anyone who is not against us is for us. I think the key lies in who is saying these things and in who is hearing them. In both passages, Jesus is most upset about the way people are trying to prevent others from accessing faith. Jesus yells at the Pharisees because they are spreading lies. They are saying that the good being done was actually the devil. They are trying to get people to doubt and distrust the person who had shown them what God is like and was showing them that God actually cared about them. He says the Pharisees are incapable of telling the truth because they're so concerned about protecting their power and control. And then Jesus yells at the disciples because they're being jealous and exclusive. They're trying to discount miracles that were being done by other people who also had faith and trying to shut down any access to healing other than directly through them, the special chosen ones. And Jesus says if your attitude causes this fragile new faith of people around you to disintegrate, then that's one of the worst crimes you could commit. In both cases, Jesus has reason to be upset. I do find it interesting that, like, words that Jesus spoke against power-hungry religious leaders has been turned into like a battle cry against regular people who just express concerns about religious leaders abusing their power. Obviously, Mars Hill is a poster child example of this, but I think that the phrase and mentality has permeated churches in America, especially those of the evangelical flavor. It is so much easier to get people on your side when they have someone to hate, when they have someone to be afraid of, or to see as the enemy. It is much easier to get people to accept what you say without question when they know that the result of their questions will be that they get kicked out and then run over by the bus. But what really ends up happening is that little ones with fragile, precious faith who are genuinely trying to follow Jesus trip and fall over all of the destruction, and then they walk away, sometimes forever. If you're not with us, you're against us. That's not what it says. Jesus, I suppose, can say, if you're not with me, you're against me. I don't think we should say that. We should start with the other phrase that Jesus said. Anyone who's not against us is for us. We can't start from a place of distrust. We can't start from a place of suspicion. We can't start by trying to stay in control and keep our power and our influence. We can't start by making a list of who our enemies are. This makes a bad tree. It makes an aggressive, malicious, poisonous tree with fruit that might look beautiful, but it's rotten on the inside. Jesus said to the disciples, make a tree good and its fruit will be good. Make a tree bad and its fruit will be bad. A tree is recognized by its fruit. This is depressing. I was writing this and I was like, ugh. I was like sad and angry and just, ugh. Because I know so many people who have been run over by the bus of the church. I know so many people who have been punished for asking questions, for having different perspectives, for trying to think for themselves and understand what an integrated faith actually means for their life. I know how long I kept silent and was very careful with my words and was so agreeable that no one could find fault with my faith or my loyalty until, of course, it got to the point where I was like, my silence is actually hurting people, including me. The question we asked last week is like, it's not, is it worth the fruit? It's, is it worth the damage that has been caused? One of the greatest privileges of my life is getting to talk to y'all and hear your experiences of faith. And many times someone will be like, hey, like, can we get together? I want to talk to you. And they'll be looking for like perspective or prayer or encouragement. And I mean, I do my best, but honestly, more often than not, I feel like I'm the one who leaves having learned something. Because your stories of faith, the ways that you connect to God, your deep and thoughtful questions about the Bible, the doubts that are surfacing in your souls, the resolve that you have to keep trying, like all of that teaches me what faith in Jesus should look like. It inspires me to keep going. And I think that's how it should be. Like, I've studied a lot. I've experienced a lot of church. I've prayed a lot. I do my best to give you like a good, well-researched reading of Scripture or a theology that affirms and celebrates who and how God made you. And I don't know everything or even most things. The biblical knowledge that's living rent-free in my brain is not the end-all, be-all of things to know. And actually, it's not rent-free. I'll be paying student loans on that till I die. Y'all can come back up here. It's a privilege to be your pastor, but I am not different, church. You are. This is a thing that we're creating together. If you weren't here, there would be no different church. Like, even the ideas and values and principles that we kind of created this place on, it was never the result of one person. It was a group of people. And we got together and we tried to imagine what church could be like if it were truly inclusive. This is our mission statement. Did I make a slide? Did I remember? No, but I'm very proud of past me. It's this. Different Church is a community of questioners committed to exploring faith in Jesus, love for our neighbors, and inclusion for all. I think that we've put enough guardrails in place that if I go off the rails and turn into like a power-crazed tyrant, it will be very easy for the board to fire me. I think that there's enough wise people here who care about different enough to protect her, to nurture her, to work to make her something beautiful and precious for the long haul. Is that enough? I don't know. Sometimes it feels like a Band-Aid on top of something that needs stitches. Is it foolish to think that we can affect some kind of permanent change in how things are done in the church in America? Maybe. Maybe. But perhaps the most intense form of resistance is not to give up on trying, but to work to create a community of faith that won't leave a trail of bodies behind it, that we won't have to repent for, that truly embodies the wholeness and peace of a people of faith who are following Jesus on the way. And you guys give me hope every single Sunday. And rebellions are built on hope. We have 2 more songs. If you'd like to stand and sing together, and then I will come back and give you a benediction.
In my time, I've traveled some roads of rolling stone. Though it feels like home. I've seen people come and they go. Life is just a story of some highs and some lows. Oh, tell me, do you believe in miracles? Standing here before your eyes. Come and be river, walk through some pain. See my way crumble, and I'll carry the shame. I know somebody who calls me his own. I can sweet. This last song is called While We Wait. And I'm going to keep with that theme of cheesily stringing song titles together. You're never alone while you wait. I love this song. There's so many songs about waiting and not knowing when the thing that you're praying for or waiting for is going to come to fruition. When or even if it will. So I like songs like this that kind of sit with you while you're in that space of unknowing and you're still having faith for more. Okay, fine. You're in the unknown.
I'm sitting in the unknowing.
I forgot you had a microphone. How about that? I was holding on with all my might, just praying for a ray of light, someone to hold me through the night. When I thought that I had lost my mind, I was all alone, never this. I won't doubt you now. Not after all you've done. Not after all you've helped me overcome. I know you're with us. Oh, I know you're with us. I know you're with us. You'll always be. You'll always be with us while here. With us, with us. While we're hoping for better. You can be trusted to keep your way. And you're with us while you wait. As you're with us while we
You can be seated. Thanks for being here. Shout out to Ho for bringing in donuts from Fray's, the best donuts in St. Pete. I don't know what to say. I'm all emotional and stuff. I can't cry. I have mascara on. I only have mascara on because my 4-year-old was like, Mom, are you going to do that thing that makes you look cool today? And I was like, what thing would that be? And she goes, with your eyeballs. And I was like, well, I wasn't, but now I have to, because now I have to look cool, and I have to, my self-esteem depends on the whims of a small tyrant. So, anyways, if you like what we're doing, you want to help us keep doing it, you can donate online or in the box in the back. Groups are open. There's no homework. We just have open-ended discussion questions about whatever we happen to talk about that Sunday. And it's good. It's good discussion. And there's normally snacks, unless you're in the Zoom group and you're responsible for your own snacks, which is maybe good. Maybe you like to pick out what you like and not be subject to other people picking out snacks for you. Okay. Let's pray. Loved ones, we will press forward. We will rewrite the narrative of the system that tries to eliminate diversity. We will insist that there is healing for all, that we can know a faith without cruelty, scarcity, and fear. Christ, our Redeemer, will have the last word. We will be delivered. We are being delivered. We are delivering each other. Even our heartbreak proves that we are still alive, that we have not given up, that hope persists like a flame in the darkness, a beacon of safety for all the wanderers still searching for safe harbor. Amen.